Stop scrolling for money advice from people who do not have a license to lose. Welcome back to the channel, and if you're new here, I'm Misty Newsome, CPA. I help travel content creators build clean books, smart tax strategy, and financial systems that actually support your growth. If you care about scaling your business without chaos and without IRS surprises, you're in the right place. Go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss out on our future videos. You handle the content, I handle the numbers, the structure, and the compliance. Let's get into it. A lot of content creators hit around 250 to 300K of income in revenue and expect things to feel super easy, right? But instead, what I hear from them are, why does my cash still so tight? We made a lot this year. Where did it go? And why do I feel like I am always waiting on the next brand deal? Here's the reality. Revenue and available cash are two very, very different things. At the 250K range, your business is big enough that the money is moving fast. That means just as well as it's coming in, it is also tend to be going out. But if your distribution system, your expense reconciliation, your paying yourself isn't structured, the cash disappears just as quickly. So let's break down what actually or usually happens with a 250K creator business. Typical expenses might look like editing help, management, or contractor help, flights, hotels, and content production costs, gear upgrades, computer upgrades, software and subscriptions that you might not have had at a 75K level, more taxes, and personal spending from the business account. Please don't do this, but if you do, we know that it happens. Suddenly that 250K revenue starts looking more like 60 to 80K in taxes between payroll and income taxes, 40 to 70K in business expenses, and then irregular owner draws. Now your personal income is unstable, and where the stress comes from is that instability, not revenue, but the structure. When your money's coming in and you're telling it where to go and how to manage it, or how to know if you can hire that contractor for editing, how to know if you want to teach your kid how to do editing, if it's going to save you some money. That structure is what you need to be able to make the best decisions for your business. So most content creators do one of two things. Number one, everything goes into one account. They swipe the same card for flights, for their content creation, groceries for their family, software, dinner, camera gear, which makes it impossible to see what the business is actually producing. Obviously, if you're working with us, we get you off that system. But in the meantime, when we're cleaning up that system, it is a lot of back and forth to figure out what is true business expenses. And if you have an LLC, I am not a lawyer, but go look up some lawyers online. They need to help you with your structure, because if you are an LLC and you're doing this, you don't really have that liability protection from everything I've read in the tax courts. The option two that I see is content creators just pay themselves randomly. Whenever there's cash, they transfer some to their personal. And that might feel flexible, but it really creates constant financial uncertainty, not knowing what is appropriate and what you should be paying yourself and how often, and making it more regular. So we have a system that we suggest here at Misty Newsome CPA. Once creators cross over that 200K revenue mark, the business needs structure. Instead of having one big checking account, money should be intentionally distributed. A simple framework could look like, number one, a tax account. Every deposit automatically move a percentage to taxes. Most people online will tell you 25 to 30%. However, what we love to do is do it based on your actual expenses and your actual net income for your whole family. We call this our holistic accounting approach. So yes, a tax account. We can talk about that percentage later when we're clients. But what we need you to do is to do it now, not later. Immediately. This removes the biggest financial anxiety most creators face. Number two is an operating account. This is where business expenses come from. Editing, software, travel costs, contractors, marketing. This account runs the business and is a good KPI indicator of what's coming in, what's coming out, and what you need on a regular basis. And then number three that a lot of people don't talk about is owner pay. You should have consistent owner distributions. Depending on how your business is set up, an S Corp, C Corp partnership, or a personal Schedule C, that could look different, but it needs to be not random. Not transfers, not like a system that is in place that you know it's March, April, May, you get this, this, and this. This might look like a monthly owner pay if you're S or C Corp with payroll taxes, a reasonable compensation needed for the IRS account for those types of businesses, or quarterly distributions, or a monthly owner draw, or putting into your retirement account. predictability reduces the stress dramatically for most of our content creators. Though I may not be a travel content creator, I wish I was in another life. That revenue level of $250K is really the pressure point, and it's where things start to break if systems aren't in place. I felt this in my own team. I was myself and I with maybe a part-time helper, bookkeeper here or there. Then I hired a tax manager. Then I hired an admin who grew into our operations manager. But at $250K, taxes get bigger. Expenses increase. Teams start forming. I couldn't handle everyone's questions all day long, every day. I never got any work done. And cash flow becomes uneven. And then brand deals especially can create huge timing gaps. You might deliver a campaign in March, invoice in April, and not get paid until June. So without structure, that gap can feel like financial chaos. And that is what we want to help you create, fix, and clean up by working with a CPA. Do you know what's better than chaos in your financial system? Being boring. A healthy creator business should feel boring financially. That's actually the goal. When the system is working, you should know how much you can spend, how much goes to taxes, how much you personally earn, and what the business can reinvest into. You should not be guessing on these things. They should be based on concrete numbers that you are able to see on a consistent basis. And if you aren't, please comment below so we can book a call. The bigger picture here is that a clean distribution system of your finances also unlocks bigger opportunities. Organized finances help with things like qualifying for a mortgage, securing business funding, hiring a team confidently knowing that you can keep paying them, scaling into multiple income streams. Revenue gets attention, but financial structure creates liquidity and stability. Being able to know without a blink of an eye that you can afford something is where you feel maybe even more so that you made it than getting those big brand deals. If your business is around the $250,000 revenue mark and the cash still feels super tight, it's usually not a revenue problem. It's a money movement or a money management problem. Once the distribution system is clear, the business suddenly feels lighter, like you can take on more and you can run it more easily because you know exactly what's going on. If this was helpful, subscribe for more practical financial guidance built for travel creators just like you who are scaling for the long term. See you next time.